Started here. And I think we're going. So we got Kachia and Colin and Mike, group 5. And this week we're going to be talking about CSS, just straight up CSS with no JavaScript, I think. So Kachia, if you want to share your screen, we'll get going.
I will do transitions first. Okay. So here's mine. I did like a basic theme of rainbow. So when you hover over these boxes, it like moves and it changes colors. And then for the bottom one, when you click on these buttons, they change color and they also move or do a little, like that one is spins.
So how'd you do the clicking?
This, let me see. VS Code. That was transitions. Sorry guys, I don't have this all laid out. Transition. Okay, right here. And okay, so I just made like a basic input box. So I gave them different IDs, so I would know like what color it was. And then on the bottom, oops, that's the wrong one. Okay, here they are. So the different IDs are here. So there's orange, green, and purple. And you just choose what type of transition you want. So there's linear, ease, in. And then that's like for the initial color. So when you first go into my page, that's why first colors are orange, green, and purple. And then this right here, these three are what happens when you click on it. So you have like the different transform right here. And there's another one here. And I specified 360 degree. And the background color is just it's just the second color when you tap on the button.
So just with that simple rotate command, that's what made box number 3 flip around like that?
Yes, the rotate 360.
Hmm.
And the focus does, when you click on it, it is in focus, and that's what activates it.
Yes.
Right. So I was thinking you had to use some JavaScript for that, but no, by using a focus event, then you can avoid using JavaScript. Okay.
I tried using focus and didn't have any luck, so I'll have to try it again.
Yeah. So let me go back here. So this one is like a little like lopsided because in my code I put skew, so that's why it looks like that.
Yeah.
So then my next one I'll show you guys is transform. So when you hover right here, okay, this will work. Okay, so I have like these 5 different objects, and they transform, so they kind of just move to the other side of the screen. But I set them with different seconds, so that's why they don't completely go all together. Yeah. And for the bottom one, I saw this on, I think, W3 Schools, and it was like a little carousel thing. So you just input however many images you want, and you specify the rotation, and it rotates the 3 images for you, or however many you choose. But I just chose 3 just to get the basics. Huh. And then my next one is animation. So let me refresh this. Okay, so I just a really basic one on the corner here, and it just changes colors.
Hey, Kachia, I'm losing your audio if you're close to your microphone. Okay.
Okay, is it better?
Yep, that's better.
Okay, sorry. And then right here, I just inputted a GIF, and it just does up and down. And then for this one, this is actually, the background is actually a video. So in the beginning, when there's like the fog, it's actually a video, but then you change the color with CSS. And yeah.
Are the letters of your name also part of the video, or is that?
Oh, it's CSS as well. So you just you just put your name key, well, I put the letters in HTML, and then to like how it turns over and how it fades and stuff. That's CSS.
Yeah. Huh.
And
It's really good.
yep, that's mine.
I don't even want to show mine now.
Me either.
What did you go first for? We're supposed to build up to a climax.
Hey, at least we all have something.
Yeah. All right, I'll go next. I'll get mine out of the way. Let's see. All right, I'll share that screen. All right. Oops. Darn it. All right, so yeah, mine aren't all that advanced. I just do a mouse over on that, and then they'll slide out and then slide back. Each one of these uses a different element. There's linear, ease in, ease out, ease in, out. So each of these shows one of those 5 in action, but they all have the same result time, so that's why they all start and end the same rate. Yep. Then my animation just kind of flips that ball down and back, and then my transform flips this around on an axis. The code for all that is fairly unremarkable. Let's see. Yeah, so I created those 5 objects and kind of grouped them all together in one class. And so I have the same CSS that affects all 5 of those. Now I had to separate each of them individually to put a different color with each one, and then set the linear, the ease in, ease in, out. Yeah, that's all those. So then this is for my transform, or no, this is for my animation, I believe. Right? No, I don't remember. But they all execute on the hover event. I like your idea of using the focus event. I'll have to play with that a little more too. But yeah, nothing else too unremarkable. But again, I don't have to have any JavaScript. This is all free and clear of any JavaScript at all. So I think that was the point of the task. And the only points that the instructor docked for me is just that my examples are not very complicated. He was looking for something that would be more practical, something that you might actually see on a website, and that would help a user know what you're trying to get them to do. So I did a little more playing around with another one of my forms. Nope. Where is it? Oh, it's local storage. No, it's not. Is it? I had a field that would, can't remember where I put it. I'm totally lost now. Where did I put it? It wasn't events, was it? Wow. I'm gonna have to look for it and then come back again. Anyway, I basically had my CSS would make a field grow when the user would mouse over it.
Oh.
It would grow and change color just to draw attention to it. I guess that's the kind of thing that he's looking for. I mean, again, design and making things pretty is really not my forte, so I don't know what a user would want, you know, what would encourage them. I'd have to just go play around on a bunch of other websites to see what other people think is a useful, productive use of CSS. But I had it change color and grow the fields slightly so they could see that it's editable, and then I had the action buttons also grow and change color when they were moused over. So, and that got me a couple extra points. I didn't quite get to 10 out of 10, but I've at least made it to basic, so I'll let that ride for now and may go back to it at the end of the 10 weeks if I have time. And that's it for me. All right. Colin, what you got?
Okay. Let's see. This is mine. This is kind of what I've been working on for another class, and so I just made it up and used it. When you load it, the recipe goes to grab attention there. When you go over the menu, then it expands it and puts the border underneath.
Mm-hmm.
When you go and click a recipe, it shakes for a minute, and then
I thought maybe you would have those flip around and show the recipe on the back.
That'd be cool.
yeah, that takes more time.
Yeah,
Takes a little
I
time
saw
to
something
get
like
there,
that on a website. I just had time to try it.
So yeah, mine's not too complicated. It just so it took transform and transition, and this is transition. This is transform with the wiggling. It's rotating back and forth, and then the automation is the comes up to the
Cool.
yeah. So yeah.
How have you guys? How do you test your code on a mobile device? Oh, you've got a touch screen on, don't you?
Yeah.
I found a little something that I'll show here. Oh no, go ahead. Finish what you got.
I was just gonna look over this. I mean, it's nothing special. It's kind of what you got there. I group things together, and since the HTML, there are a bunch of divides that group things together, and then so I was able to group the recipes together and then do the CSS on the whole deal. It also is supposed to, we're supposed to increase in size. That was working. I'll have to figure out why that's not working. Maybe that's the display deal. So yeah, kind of funny. You have to do some funny things with display. It won't do transitions if it's not the right display type, or transforms. It won't do transforms.
Gotcha.
It's kind of weird. Anyway, I don't know why that's not working. I'll have to look at that. But
Yeah.
anyway, go ahead. What were you?
So I was having problems because I trying to make sure I could test some of the mobile events. That's the code that I worked on this week was JavaScript events, and one of them that he wanted us to use was an on-touch start or on-touch event. And so I would write some code, and then I would think I got it ready to work, so I would push it out to my GitHub, and then I would bring up my cell phone and go to that page and then try to make it work. And sometimes it would and sometimes it wouldn't, but it was just a really long process from coding to testing, and it was driving me nuts.
I think so. In your HTML, you're supposed to have like a normalized CSS file, and I think you could get that online, and it kind of like does mobile for you.
Well, that's what I was wondering. I thought I would show what I did if it's of any help, and then if you guys have other ways that you're testing for mobile activity, then I'd love to see that too. Let me share. Okay, are you guys seeing my code here?
Yes.
Okay, so this isn't ideal totally, but so this is just one of my normal websites. And I noticed that when you go to inspect, so right click on the page and inspect. Now this is in Chrome. I think you got the same developer tools on any other browser. But I noticed this little button here that has a big screen icon and a little screen icon. And I click that, and it basically starts to behave like a mobile device. Now, I've noticed that it's not 100% like using them, like something I was able to get to work here. I then tried it on my cell phone, and it didn't work. So they're not exactly the same. And some of that may just be what elements are supported by each browser. But I'll show you, for example, this red text here. If you just click it from a PC, it doesn't do anything. That's what I'm doing right now, just clicking it with my mouse. But if I change this to this mobile emulator, I think is what they would call it, you can see my mouse cursor is now a little circle.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, supposed to indicate like a touch type action. So when I click that now, my extra text appears here that I coded to go on the on-click event, or sorry, on the on-touch start event. So that worked, and that was kind of nice. It allowed me to test my mobile code a little quicker. And then this one just moves that logo back and forth. Oh, and then I actually have an on-load event. It just makes the whole screen fade in instead of just flashing up. It's kind of easy to overlook that, but yeah, it just kind of fades into view rather than blinking into action. So those are the 3 events that I coded for. I didn't get graded on it yet. I just turned it in yesterday.
Okay.
But I did something with the on-load, with the on-touch start, and then with on-click. So we'll see how I do with those. And then I have to go back and figure out how to integrate transforms and transitions and animations with JavaScript, which has just been a real pain in the neck. Use next week's meeting to talk about that some more.
That'll work.
Has anybody heard or seen anything from Brent?
No.
I think it's
No.
been, I think he said something to the group in like weeks 4 and 5, but nothing for like the last 2 or 3 weeks. So
Don't remember.
I don't know. Hope we didn't scare him away. Well, actually, if we do want to talk about CSS more in detail next week, I could see that meeting stretching on a little longer than a half an hour. And since we were doing this one late like this to try to get Brent here, and if he's not going to be here, then maybe we could do it a little earlier.
Okay.
I don't know. Is Wednesday still good? The best day for everybody?
Yeah.
What's the earliest you guys would want to go? Could we go an hour earlier, or is that?
I'm free anytime after 2 o'clock, basically.
Okay. And
Yeah.
Colin?
And I could at 7, probably not any earlier than that, but
7? And that's 7 Mountain Time?
yeah.
Okay.
8. Okay. All right, I'll do that. I'll set it up for 7 o'clock Mountain Time.
Okay.
I'll send that invite out, and yeah, I'll send out the recording for this from YouTube, and I guess that'll do it.
Great.
Sounds good.
Thanks.
Okay,
Thank
another
you.
good meeting. We'll see you guys next week.
You guys too.
Have
Bye.
a good night.